show starts now. Welcome to the Weekly Roundtable, where the takes are hot and FOMO set to disable. Welcome to the Weekly Roundtable, where friends are made and we all drink that red maple. Break. Juan's got his eyes on the latest somehow. We being forex that make you go wild. Crypto crazy is a man on a mission like a Tesla. He most def got a vision. Weekly Roundtable, we got no cables. Predicting the future using their bagels. Chart is throwing out numbers, no trouble. He finds the gems for real, no struggle. Calculations running through your mind. Weighing options, seeing what you'll find. Crypto waves crashing like the tide. Hold your breath, it's a crazy ride. Welcome to the Weekly Roundtable, where the takes are hot and FOMO set to disable.
All right, ready to go. We are live. Hope everyone's having a great week, a great Thursday. I know the markets have been crazy, but we're going to get into that today. Before we get started, don't forget, nothing on this stream should be considered financial advice. It is strictly for entertainment and educational purposes only. So I'd like to welcome up this week's panel. Crypto Cruiser, how are you doing today, sir?
Doing all right. Could be better with the way the market is, but anybody who's watching knows what it looks like.
Yeah, exactly. We'll get into that. And we also are joined by Juan G. How you doing, my man?
Getting ready for the storm that's in Georgia, and coming from New York, it's like a little sprinkle on the ground, but I guess in Georgia it's a big deal. So my daughter even has off tomorrow, so yay, good times.
Oh, nice. Yeah, a lot of crazy stuff going on. Our hearts go out to those out in California. They've got some pretty crazy wildfires going on right now. A lot of homes have been destroyed, and those winds that are blowing through there are making the battle for the firefighters even that much more tough. So our thoughts and prayers are going out to all of them as well. We have a packed show this week. We're going to be talking about the markets. We're going to be talking about what's going on with the government and their Bitcoin. We also have, obviously, there was an extreme liquidation event. We're going to, dive into some theories as to what caused that. And of course, we're going to go into the ETF flows and all the usual things that we do each and every week. So you guys ready to get going here?
Yeah.
Fired up.
All right. Okay. Let's start off with every week, as we normally do. We go over the Bitcoin chart. So we'll start with that one right away. Okay, here's the chart. Bitcoin currently sits at 92,746. Actually, we've had a little bit of a pump the last few minutes here, which is great. I know a lot of people were concerned about how far this was going to go down, and I know a lot of YouTubers are saying, what's to be worried, because Bitcoin's only down about 8% in the last 3 days, 15% or 16% overall since the high. But most people are in this market, especially at this point of the market, they're holding altcoins. And altcoins have taken they've just been murdered completely. Some of them, even the most popular ones, are down 35, 40, 45% in the last couple of weeks since their highs, or their local highs anyway. But this liquidity zone here, it is still being respected. Make sure you guys can see my arrow here. There we go. The liquidity zone is still being respected. You can see how many times it's come down, and it has held as support. We mentioned last week about the DEMA. Bounced off it a couple of times. It has acted as support, and once again, it has done the same as well. We did wick below it. Here, let me see if I can zoom in here so we get a better view. It did wick below it, but currently we are sitting right on it as we speak, which is great to see. If that can hold as support, maybe build a little bit of strength here with Bitcoin, we can maybe begin our next leg up. And then, of course, here's the 100,000 arrow. So it has been fearful a little bit. If you're not quite sure how the markets work and how Bitcoin operates, this is probably terrifying for you. But maybe in today's stream, we can put a little bit of ease in your minds as to what possibly we could expect going forward. Guys, I guess I'll turn it to you, and just to kind of quickly discuss the Bitcoin price over the last few days. I'll start with you, Juan. What are you seeing on the chart, and what's your feeling on the market right now?
Right now, I'm still bullish on the whole Bitcoin and where it's going to end up at the end of the year, or even within the next couple of months. There's a lot of indecisiveness going on in the in crypto market in general for a variety of reasons. Whether it's the sale of Bitcoin from the government, which is a huge amount, by the way, the uneasiness of it staying above 100K. That ranging that it's been doing. Of course, then we still have Trump coming into power, and those discussions, and whether they believe or not that he's going to be good for crypto or not, only because when you don't understand what crypto is, how good can you be for it? I think that's been a highlighted amount of discussion. And if you kind of reference a lot of the past, especially in the US, whether it's the housing collapse or the bubble from the tech companies, right, which also collapsed because of deregulation, and then crypto follows that same path. Do we also foresee another collapse now because of crypto, because of further deregulation, because Trump is now in power, right? So those are things I think that's creating this uneasiness, and that's the conversations that I've been hearing, at least in the States.
And Cruiser, what about you? What are your thoughts on the last couple of days? Oh, you're muted. There you go.
Last couple of days certainly haven't been fun, but overall I'm still fairly bullish. Of course, Canada just follows the States on just about everything as far as narratives, and anything that happens down there affects what happens up here. But overall, I'm very bullish on Bitcoin. My concern is with Ethereum. It's not looking pretty, but that what they call it, the death cross looming.
Yeah, Ethereum sure has been lagging behind. Here's the Ethereum chart actually now.
Yeah,
it has definitely underperformed. This is the daily. It's just kind of been chopping sideways. It hasn't really done much at all. And if you compare that same time frame to Bitcoin, and you can see what Bitcoin has done. And even compared to most other alts, you're right. It hasn't been keeping up. It's been underperforming. Move that up a bit. Yeah, with this last dip, it did dip into that liquidity zone as well. Hopefully that holds. We don't want to see it go any lower. It is a little bit below the DEMA right now, which is unfortunate. But I don't know. Maybe there will be a turnaround in ETH. There's still a lot of people that believe in it. DeFi is still huge on the Ethereum network, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Let's go USD. Actually, let's do Bitcoin dominance first. I want to show that because it has slightly reversed. We did have that major dump as we showed on the channel a few weeks back. It did come up. It got rejected off of that that trend line, the upper trend line here, and it retraced down. But then the last couple of days, it has started to go back up again. Seems to have found maybe an area where it's going to top out. There are some analysts that say that Bitcoin dominance is going to continue to rise. Got this W pattern, and that the altcoin season is going to have to wait. Bitcoin is going to be dominant again for a little bit, and then it's the beginning of this next leg up, leading into the inauguration, and then afterwards. But we'll have to wait and see. But so far, dominance has been kind of ranging up, down, up, down. At least it's not pumping like crazy like it was here on this trend line previously. It's at 57.96% right now. The other thing I wanted to show was the USDT dominance. That has also pumped up, and it is currently rejecting off of the previous uptrend that we broke down through a few weeks back. This is typical when you have a consolidation or a manipulated we'll say the cascade of liquidations in the market. It's typical for the USDT dominance to go up, or and the Bitcoin dominance as well, because people are kind of putting money from alts, they're panic selling or whatever the case may be, and holding stables. Which, or the other thing is whales or savvy investors are putting some money into the market and they're holding it into stables until they know for sure that the dump is over and that it's found kind of a bottom. So we'll be watching that closely to see how that transpires. Any comments from either one of you on the dominance of Bitcoin or USDT?
No.
For me, I think that the dominance is going to continue of Bitcoin. Let's just be honest; it's going to be the end all, be all. USDT obviously is going to fluctuate depending on how strong the U.S. market is. So, and that obviously because of the jobs report coming in recently, pretty strong, is probably what affected some of this dip. But I think that it's going to be a delicate balance until inauguration day and probably a couple of weeks after that. So it's just something we have to watch and again be careful with and prepare. Right? Let's just make sure that we're all prepared for if we're going to be trading in this market.
Yeah, good point. Okay, so moving on. I want to show, we're talking that one of the major reasons for this dump, I mean, there are a couple, which we're going to go over here in a moment, but continuing on with the charts, there was I don't want to say a massive outflow on the ETFs, but there was outflows on the ETFs. And I just want to bring that up before I bring up the liquidations. Okay, so here we go. So here's the ETF inflows outflows chart. Now, as you can see, today, that increased. I know Juan, you and I were talking about it earlier, and the outflows were coming in, and this looks like to be up to date now. As of today, no, this was as of yesterday. So today, I guess you were mentioning that there were more, but this was yesterday. Outflows of 568 million. Which would explain, a bit of the dip we had yesterday. However, the couple of days prior to that, Bitcoin was also retracing once we hit that 103. And we had 2 straight days of over 900 million. We had 907 million on the 3rd, and on the 5th, on the 6th, we had 978 million. And, price didn't really reflect that too much. And then, of course, we had the outflows today. So manipulation is probably the cause, and people always, they ask, what do you mean by manipulation? What do you mean by market makers, et cetera, et cetera? Well, one of the examples is Binance is known across the space as being one of those exchanges or entities that likes to control price, or at least manipulate it in one way or another. And so what they did 2 days ago was they sold 20,000 Bitcoin worth 1.6 billion. Now, what that's going to do, it may not make a huge dent in the market, but it will give it a sudden drop. And when that happens, you get a lot of trigger-happy leverage traders or newbie investors, retail investors in general. They panic sell, and then that causes a cascade. And then what ends up happening with that, if we go up here back to the liquidation map and show, what ends up happening is you get the price coming down and liquidating longs. And then when those longs are closed, it starts a cascade. And right now, I'm going to go to the 7-day because it really paints the picture. When we looked at this last week and even previous weeks, the leverage in the market was way too high. And this dip that we had from 103 down to, what do we get down to? About 90,000, 90 and change. It has completely almost wiped it out. As you can see here on the long side, there's now only about just under 50 million worth of longs. And over on the shorts, people are heavy on shorts. It's funny the way sometimes retail works. When the price starts going down, they want to FOMO in and try to take advantage and make money off of that. So they put in short trades, which, I mean, right now, if they were to be smart and take some profit, that it may not have been such a bad move. But a lot of times they think it's going to continue lower. And what will end up happening is the price will reverse. We'll find a bottom. We'll find support. There'll be some kind of a bullish news or some kind of a catalyst that'll pump the price up. And then the opposite will happen. As these shorts get liquidated, the price continues up. And as you can see, what are we at now? $9.8 billion worth of short leverage positions in the market, which is crazy to me. So it's completely done a 180. We went from heavy longs to now heavy shorts. So the most logical thing to happen now, as long as the market makers are happy and they feel they've got the liquidity that they wanted, the price should reverse and we could see a lot of those shorts being liquidated. But we'll follow this closely and see how that transpires. Now, I know that's not the only reason as well for the past couple of days. I'll give you gentlemen a chance to comment in a sec, but I did want to show this post over here on X. Hope you guys can see that. I'm going to put it on the large screen. Here we go. It says the U.S. government has been given the green light to liquidate 69,000 Bitcoin, 6.5 billion from Silk Road, an official confirmed today, I guess. When was this posted? Yes, this was posted today. Sorry, yesterday, 22 hours. So it's an interesting situation, less than 2 weeks away from the new administration who vowed not to sell. So, of course, if this is true, it's obviously, one of those last kick of the can decisions by the Biden administration, if it even has anything to do with them specifically. But it's well known that the Trump administration wants to hold on to their Bitcoin and actually add to it. So this is kind of like a kick in the balls from the Dems to the Republicans. But anyway, this is what it reads. A federal judge ruled December 30th that the DOJ can sell 69,370 Bitcoin seized from the Silk Road darknet marketplace. A year-long ownership dispute over the seized Bitcoin ended in a battle in court. Losses had delayed the sale. The group claimed ownership through a bankruptcy estate and recently lost a related FOIA case seeking to reveal the identity of individual X who originally surrendered the Bitcoin. So anyway, regardless, apparently they were given permission to sell. Now, this is on December 30th. Now, going a little bit further, I did come across this post as well. And it says, I've said before, and I'll say it again, the seized Bitcoin that was meant to be used for a strategic reserve under the Trump administration was sold off already with a credit line sanctioned by Coinbase. Interesting. They spent months distributing and couldn't mention it because Kamala was running against Trump. The liberals needed to maintain a positive image and desperately needed crypto voters. There is no Bitcoin left to sell. This is all BS. Your emotions are being manipulated by the rich, old, white, demented, et cetera, the market makers, or as a friend of the channel, Tyler, says, the lizard people. The downside is the fact that we won't have any Bitcoin reserve right off the bat. The upside is the idea that Trump will have to top blast buy instead, so it could be some buys coming in. So anyway, there's some conflicting reports there. No one really knows exactly what the truth is, but I'm not really sure. Now, the other theory as well, bring you guys back up. The other theory as well that I heard, and then I'll get your opinion, guys, is for the dump. Is the news came out, the jobs report, as Juan alluded to, which it wasn't terrible. It was actually kind of bullish overall, maybe not for risk assets, but bullish when it comes to the country's economy. And there may have been a lot of front running or buying on the heels of that news. And then, of course, with Binance doing what they did and the other lizard people creating a liquidation event. So as soon as people were bought or opened positions, the market reversed, and then those positions were liquidated, and then, of course, panic selling. So there's many different reasons for the dip, and of course the ultimate one. Anybody who's been in a bull market for more than just one, that on the way up there has to be corrections. There has to be a reset in the market, and leverage in the market was really high. Sentiment was really high. The fear and greed was up at extreme fear, which, for the record, we are now at neutral and heading actually toward fear, which is good. It means the market is reset and people expect things to continue down further. Okay, so enough with that. You guys, I wanted to hear your opinions on all of that. I know it's a lot to take in, but I'll start off with you, Cruiser.
Well, yeah, that is a lot. A lot's happened recently. And I'm still trying to wrap my head around the whole the battle between the U.S. Government, I guess, but with their desire to hold so much Bitcoin and selling it off, that's not helping situations at all. But I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm concerned about everything that's happening, but I'm just hoping for a bounce back soon. I don't pay enough attention to the American politics to really even have much thought on it. unfortunately. I just watch what it does to the market as opposed to why it's happening on the American side of things. And Canadian politics doesn't play a part in it at all because nobody up here is bright enough to know anything about it. So we have no we have no sort of effect on the market with the governments that we have. So.
True. Juan, yourself.
Yeah, I completely agree with the sentiment here. A lot of confusion about what's happening, and against again, being a person who does support democratic principles. I'm not surprised because trust me, if the Republicans had which approved the sale as well, probably didn't benefit much either from saying that they did. So whether it's Kamala who was running or Trump who was also running at the time, whether that was approved, I remember it wasn't Kamala or Trump who approved it, it was Congress. And if I remember correctly, it was split between the Senate and the House. So that confusion and these smoke and mirrors tactics is nothing new. That way, no one points the finger at no one else. They just kind of let's do the sale and kind of slide on by and pay off people who need to get paid off. And that's just my opinion there. But with everything else, I think the big talk is really about if Trump is going to really be a boon by deregulating crypto further, or will he provide structured regulation? And I think that I think on this channel we've always talked that we need good structured regulation. It's already kind of the wild west out here, and we just need to provide a safer atmosphere for everyone else. So in my opinion, I think that if Trump does the right thing and surrounds himself with the right crypto minds, I think that we'll see a paradigm shift in the crypto market.
I did want to ask you, well, both of you actually, but Cruiser, you kind of already answered. But there's two claims there. One saying that they were given permission to sell and that they were going to sell, and then another one claiming that they already have. So which side are you leaning on, Juan?
I don't think they've sold, because if that's something that the Republicans could have used either during the election, post-election, or kind of leveraged it now before inauguration, they would have. They would have posted it everywhere and made noise about it, just like they did with dogs and cats being eaten by Haitians. So, right. So if they can output something that ridiculous, they'll definitely output a truth. I mean, I just don't think that that's the case. So if any leverage they can get, they'll definitely use it to their advantage. And that's one of the strong suits of Republicans, right? Whether it's true or not, if something they can leverage, they will.
Okay. And that being said, since you believe that it's still to be sold, do you think that they, okay, I guess that's kind of a two-part question. Do you think they will let the public know when they're going to be selling? And do you think they're going to be, smart about it and sell off slowly, or do you think they're just going to dump?
Well, I will tell you that this is not the first time anything from Silk Road has been sold.
Right.
And just like any other events, they've never announced it. But I will say is those that know. And I'll leave it like that.
Okay. And that leads me to my follow-up question before I move on to the rest of the charts. Now, the whole, oh my gosh, I'm going to forget the name now. The FTX, almost forgot the name of the exchange. The FTX money that is being distributed. Do you think that a lot of that is going to return? The good thing about that, just so everyone knows, is that FTX, their assets are in stables or in cash, so there won't be any selling or anything, but it's going to be distributed starting here very soon. Now, do you think those recipients are going to funnel that back into the market, or do you think they're going to take their cash and walk away? What do you think the percent is of those that will stay in the market and those that will leave?
I think timing is everything.
I was going to say, any
And
guesses? Because right now, if you think about it, Bitcoin's at a discount, and so are a lot of the altcoins. So if they, now would be a pretty good time if you're to come across some free money, quote unquote. It'd be a good time to put it into the market, I would think, anyway.
well, like I said, timing is everything, right? In the U.S., we should be soon to be paying our taxes, if any, or getting money back, depending on who the individual is. So I can see people using that money first to make sure they're solvent and that everything's paid off for. I think a lot of people will be happy that they get anything back. And again, if the timing is right, like I think just like during COVID, where people got money and a lot of that money went into investing into the market, then yeah, we can see a big boom and a good push. But the opposite can also happen if the market is not looking good and the transition team into the new presidency doesn't kind of foretell good fortunes yet. Then yeah, people are going to hold on to that cash a little longer and prepare themselves for the worst, right? So it just depends on what part of the fear and greed index we're going to be in when the FTX money comes out.
That's a very good point. I guess it does depend on market sentiment, but for those that my point of view or my side of that is anyone who was involved with FTX and during the FTX collapse, they've been in this market for a little while, so they kind of know the way it works. And I feel that if the if the sentiment in the market like it is right now, just looking at the fear and greed, we are, like I said, we're at a 43 in neutral, almost at fear, which is, well, it's actually kind of nice to see. So if we're in the same kind of sentiment right now, when that money becomes available to them and they aren't using it for anything else, they're pretty savvy investors by now, you would think. So they would probably put it into the market. At least that's my optimistic look, my hopium for that.
There's another angle to that as well, and I'll play the devil's advocate. I think about those people who used FTX exclusively, and then of course the collapse, and how long has it been now? How much resentment do they have towards the market, towards the whole crypto space as a whole, that just backed out of it completely and want nothing to do with it now, right? How many are like that, right?
There are going to be a lot like that, absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there could be a ton of them.
But, on the other flip side of that, when FTX collapsed and they lost whatever money they had, the market is 3 or 4x higher than at that point, right? Yeah. So they've seen the growth, and maybe they'll FOMO in. Obviously, a lot won't, but I believe there will be some of that do. Okay, so I'm going to go over and show this now. This is the altcoin index. Give it a refresh. It's actually come up from the other day. The other day we were at a 47, and we're now at a 51. So we're pretty much dead even neutral. Considering that what's happened the last couple of days and how badly altcoins bled, can't really complain about this. This isn't too bad. Neutral is a good place to start for when we begin our next leg up. And then the last chart I want to show is the CBBI that I've been talking about. We were going to show it every week on the channel. Shout out to No BS Crypto. He's the one that came up with this chart. What it does, it takes all the main indexes and main top signal indicators and mashes it all together and gives kind of like a general consensus as to where we are in the market. Now on this one, I've taken off the R HODL ratio and the 2-year moving average because, I mean, we're in a bull market heading into the euphoric stage, and those really, they could be at 100 for a while. So I've taken those out of the chart, but we do have the pi cycle top, the NUPL, ARPL, MBRV, reserve risk, and et cetera, all the main ones. And so we're at a score of 72 out of 100. And on the chart, as you can see where we are right now, so we have a ways to go. I mean, we have come a long way. That's why a lot of people, the consensus is that we're 3/4 through this bull market, the third of the fourth year. Third year of the 4-year cycle. But we do have a ways to go. And as you can see, the other cycle tops, they, blew up in this area here, 90 and above. and right now we're at a 72. So once we creep up to that, 85-ish, heading toward 90, that might be the time to really start thinking about taking profit. And also, not financial advice. None of this is financial advice, guys, but I do have on my Bitcoin chart, if I scroll down here, I do have the 1.619 fib level that I'm going to monitor, which is approximately 122,000. Me personally, and I will be mentioning it on the stream, this is when I'm going to start laddering out. I'll show the chart here, up here. So this is the 122,000, 1.619, or I should say 1.618. But anyway, that's where I'm going to start laddering out. Once we get to that point, I'll start, taking profit from my altcoins. Whichever ones are up, I'll take from them. Whatever narrative is currently at that time, I will let those ride. But then as soon as that narrative plays out and those are in extreme profit, that's when I'll start laddering out from there as well. But I just thought I'd show that it's on my chart so that I can refer to it and show it on the channel going forward. Okay, gentlemen, there are a few tokens during this this correction, this dip, that have done very well. Name three of them to name, as you see in the thumbnail. XRP is one, SUI is another, and of course, or I shouldn't say of course, but Dogecoin. Now, I have a couple of reasons as to why that may be, and I'm sure Juan and Cruiser, you guys have your own, but just some footnotes I have. I've said that, okay, so XRP, Doge, and SUI are holding up well. XRP, well, it had momentum going into this dip, so I think part of it is it continued its momentum. Also, Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO or owner of Ripple, he met with President-elect Trump, and of course, did the photo op and all those good things, and the rumors about XRP getting an ETF. So that obviously helps, and they announced a partnership with Chainlink. So those are some pretty good catalysts, good reasons as to why XRP has maintained its strength. And like I said, it was already strong going into this dip, so it just maintained its strength. SUI, I'm going to go over here to DeFi Llama. SUI and Solana. Solana has done okay, hasn't done as good as SUI, but here's DeFi Llama, and I just want to show. I'll give this a refresh. One of the main reasons why SUI has maintained, its price action during this dip. One of the biggest reasons is if you see right here, even Ethereum, the last 7 days and month, in the red. You come down here to SUI, and it's green on the daily, green on the weekly, and green on the monthly by quite a bit. Take out this Hyperliquid because that's a new protocol. Obviously, it's going to do well because it's fairly new. And then Bitcoin and oracles, etc. They just kind of maintain, but Bitcoin is the granddaddy. But taking away all those, as far as it comes to layer ones, as you can see, SUI has maintained volume in DeFi, TVL on its dexes in the ecosystem in general. So SUI has maintained its strength, which is really, really nice to see. And then finally, Doge. I believe, me personally, I think one of the main reasons why Doge is continuing its strength is with Trump being inaugurated in a week. I believe it's a week. What are we at? The 9th? Yeah, so week and a bit, almost 2 weeks. And of course, Elon Musk. He's not officially part of his administration, but he is, along with Vivek, going to be heading up the Doge, the Department of Governmental Efficiency. And I think that combined with, Elon has always been a fan of Dogecoin. I think Doge has maintained its strength simply because of that. I think when the rest of the market pumps, either prior to inauguration or after the buy the rumor, sell the news event, after the inauguration, I think Doge is going to be one of those that comes out smelling like roses. All right, I'll pass it off to you guys. I'll start with you, Juan. I know that's a lot there, but I just wanted to hear what you thought about the three that have, well, anything at all, actually. Oh, you muted, Juan?
Yeah, sorry about that. Totally agree about the whole XRP situation, and I think they're leveraging it correctly. All right, you talk to the future president of the United States. There's no way you're going to publicly say that it was a bad conversation, right? So they leveraged it pretty well. And I think that Trump wants to align itself with crypto, so it's a great strategic move for both sides. And I foresee it being carried into inauguration day, and maybe even towards the end of the month, as I believe the CEO will continue to kind of leak little things here and there to continue the pump. Because look at what happened to Cardano, right? It was doing really well, and then all of a sudden it got quiet, and the price started dipping. So that's one thing. Of course, there's no doubt that Doge was going to make a move, right? You have Elon Musk in the White House, right? So all he has to do is breathe the word Doge, and I'll probably go on another rampage, right? So I think for now, that's going to continue as long as the relationship between him and the White House continues to be the same, or he starts getting popular. And then I think that popularity of Elon will continue to drive Doge possibly to $1 at the end of the year. I'm going to be honest with you. So I'll definitely keep an eye on there just to make sure that we are paying attention to not just the sentiment, but to the price action of it, and if it's going to be tied. And the last on the list, Sui. And Sui has been a sweetheart for us here at this channel. Has been doing very well, consistently growing, steadily but surely. Has great positive and negative pressure, and it's always reacted anytime big sales have occurred. So those who's probably sold early probably regret it, because again, it gets going to newer and newer heights, and just generating that volume, which is what you want. People always think that when price goes down that it's a bad thing, but you need that healthy retracement to give those to create that FOMO, to create that buying pressure, to create that sale, right? Because it's not like you go with Best Buy and say, "Oh, sale on this TV, let me buy it." It doesn't work that way. So one of the best ways that sales are created in the crypto space is by sales being created, selling pressure. And that in turn will create then buying pressure. So I think that Sui's in a healthy spot right now. And I foresee that people should continue to buy. And if you see an opportunity to DCA, do so. This just a personal opinion, not financial advice. That's it for me.
Awesome. Cruiser, yourself.
Well, I could definitely mirror that sentiment, of course, on Sui. I just became, I guess, involved, I guess you could say, with Sui just earlier this year, or well, last year now. I guess we're in 25 now. So I think I got in at the right time, because yeah, it's been a great run over the past number of months. So I've been enjoying that one. XRP. Anybody who's watched this in the past knows I'm all in on XRP. I've had a bag of it for numerous years, number of years now. So of course I'm enjoying where it's going now, and just looking at the charts. Speaking of the dip and how XRP kind of held its own. If you look at the chart side by side, it's quite surprising how XRP has fared while everything else just kind of dumps. So I've definitely been enjoying that. And Dogecoin, I think we made the comment before that Elon Musk just whispers the word, and it manipulates the market. He's very powerful in that sense, that he can make things happen just by a simple tweet, if we're still calling them that. And I'm watching it. I'm watching it closely. Doge is another one I've had for a couple of years, and seeing what it's done in the past 12 months has me watching it even closer. $1 definitely, like Juan said, $1 definitely not out of the question, considering how much it's come up in recent months. So I'm watching that one close, probably closer than the other two. The other two have expectations. Anything Doge does from here on out will be a pleasant surprise. Well, pleasant if it goes in the right direction, of course.
Yeah, well, see, it's in the beginning of the bull market. I think Solana was the one that everyone was watching. It was kind of the fastest horse. It was leading the race. Ethereum was lagging way behind. It still is, but you know the distance between Solana and Ethereum has closed. The gap has closed. Solana, in a lot of cases, a lot of different metrics, actually has more volume and definitely more transactions than Ethereum. And there are times that the Solana transaction fees have actually outperformed Ethereum's, even though Ethereum gas fees are outrageous. But there wasn't really a clear third place person until about 3 months ago. I'm going to say, August, late August. Sui was at a low of around 70 cents or even below that, and that just went on this incredible run. 70 cents to $1.20 to $1.80 to $2.50 to $3, and now over $4, and we actually got to $5 and change very, very quickly. So Sui is now becoming, kind of that third place, that third fastest horse. And the transaction speeds are fast on Sui. It's basically everything Solana was last bull market. So those are the three you definitely got to watch as far as DeFi and layer ones and stuff like that. XRP is a whole different ball game. We've covered that in previous videos, what it does, its use case, and just XRP and Ripple in general. Just as good, but on a different, totally different utility. So yeah, we'll be keeping an eye on those. I think Ethereum really needs to pick up its pace. It's lagging so far behind. I'm not really sure exactly why. I don't know. One could say it's because of the gas fees, and that may be a big part of it. But I think it's also because sometimes the first mover in a space does well for the first few years, but then better, faster things take over. And I don't know. I'm not saying that Ethereum is going to go to obscurity, but unless they make some drastic changes, there are just better things out there, and it'll be interesting to see what happens with Ethereum. I mean, it's going to do well this bull market, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't have the tech, it doesn't have the speed, it doesn't have the utility in and of its own as Solana and Sui do. Now Ethereum has a ton of layer 2s on top of it, so those layer 2s combined do make utility on Ethereum vast, but as for the product itself, it's fallen behind when it comes to this.
I wanted to ask, with what we've seen recently, could Ethereum be left behind this bull market, this run?
Well, I mean, let's be honest. When euphoric part of the bull market hits, the parabolic move, Ethereum will run as well, but it's not going to do what the expectations were. Everyone was expecting it last market to hit that 10K. It never did. And then people thought this time for sure it's going to hit that 10K. I don't think it's going to. I mean, honestly, what's Ethereum at right now? 32, 33.
32.30.
Yeah, maybe 6. It's still under.
What I was getting here is I agree. It'll make its move when everything else does, but once all said and done and the dust has settled this bull market and we get back into the bear, is that where Ethereum dies? Will it surface to its potential or even current levels next bull run? Or will the market evolve to a point where it gets left behind completely? That's where I'm at.
Yep, and there's ETH maxis that say there's too many things going on with Ethereum that it could never completely fail. But if you look at this last year alone, this bull market, so many projects have jumped ship. They've gone from Ethereum to either Solana or even Sui in some cases, but even Polygon. I mean, Polygon has gone to obscurity, and there are some projects that are jumping completely from ETH, even though Polygon is a layer 2 on Ethereum. I understand that, but they're taking their projects away from ETH to get away from those gas fees, because gas fees on Polygon are a lot less. But yeah, a lot of projects are already jumping ship to Solana and to Stewie and to Aptos and to others. So whether or not Ethereum is going to, completely die, probably not. But will it be as relevant as it has been? Probably not. Okay, so that is the news. So I guess now we can just jump into anything we want to discuss. Do you guys have anything going on? Juan, do you have anything you wanted to talk about or mention? Anything on the horizon? What's new with you?
Same thing. Still trading. The forex market is still doing well. Gold continues to range between the 26 and 27 mark. Today, since US 30 and all those markets were not trading today due to the death of Jimmy Carter, rest in peace. We're observing it today. Gold, though, however, since it's traded internationally, did very well, continued to move up and then range for a little bit. So good moves there. And I also foresee changes in sentiment around what the economy is going to look like over the next year. I think that whatever the systems are in place now will probably remain in place for for the foreseeable future. However, once the new administration comes entrenched and starts doing its thing, we're going to start seeing the results of that probably in 2026. So I look forward to seeing what's going to happen, and I hope that the crypto becomes not just a word that's used every day, but becomes a big priority on his agenda. And I think that we were going to start hearing more and more about it probably towards the summer months when things kind of start tapering down in the crypto market.
Okay, Cruiser, you.
A couple things. First thing, going back to the Ethereum, could you pull up an Ethereum chart with the EMA 20 and EMA 200? Is that quickly accessible?
Hold on. No, I don't have them set on here. The AMAs. All I have is the 200 on here.
And the only reason I wanted to bring that up, I don't have it on mine either, because I don't have my charts ready to go. But from what I was looking at earlier, and some of the reports I was reading, or I can't even think of the word. Some of the other, sorry, can't think of the word. Anyway, there's the death cross is looming, I guess you could say, where it could dip below the EMA 200, and if that happens, that it signifies that there could be a much bigger correction coming for Ethereum than we've already seen, which could be, I mean, I don't know how much further it could go down, but if it does cross over, that could spell trouble for Ethereum in the short term anyway. I don't know how long, but there's already been too much of a dump for some people's comfort. I won't confirm nor deny whether or not I got caught in a bad trade with that dump recently, but I'm watching it close now to see if that plays out, to see if that another 15 to 20% correction comes on top of what we've already seen. The other thing I wanted to mention, I don't know if this has any bearing on anything, but I read the report came out that Trump has launched an NFT collection.
Yeah, a long time ago, last year.
Another one today.
Oh, another one.
Yeah, he launched another one today. The Bitcoin digital trading cards, 106 piece set available on Magic Eden.
Oh.
Yeah, it was launched today. I didn't know until today that he had launched one previously. I guess that was last summer, was it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Did that have any bearing on anything? Like what? I didn't even know about it.
It wasn't widely announced, but if you followed any social media or anything, then it was plastered everywhere. But it had no bearing on price or anything.
Right. I'm just wondering, why would he release his own NFT collection other than to say that he did it? Really? I can't help but wonder if that was Elon Musk saying, hey, you got to do this. I'm surprised he hasn't done it yet himself.
Yeah, I didn't even hear anything about that. I'm going to have to actually look into that.
Yeah.
But here's the Ethereum price. As for the 200, it actually did dip below. The last time it dipped below was here. It tried to come back up to it. Oh, get my arrow again so you can see where I'm looking. It did fall below it here. It came back up, but got rejected, and then you see what happened after that. And then fell behind, and we finally broke through with strength, and then found a bit of consolidation here, back up, and then, of course, a recent dump. But it's in this liquidity zone, so it is a little bit below. It fell below, and then it came back up to retest, and it didn't like that idea, so it came back down. But right now we're sitting on top of this liquidity zone. We'll have to wait and see. Hopefully it doesn't last too long below here, and it does make an attempt to go up like you see back here. It did fall below, but it didn't last too long, and it shot back up above it. But then, of course, there was another sell-off. So we'll have to wait and see. Ethereum is so weak. It's not very strong. But what it does have going forward is that we are in a bull market. Typically in a bull market, those death crosses and, those signals that say that there's going to be a lot of, further dip in the price action or possibly even entering into a bear. We're nowhere near that with Bitcoin. So I don't think Ethereum is going to fall to those levels simply because overall strength in the market. It just, you can't have the number 2 crypto falling into bear market type patterns. Meanwhile, we're still in the midst of a bull market. I can't see it happening. It'll find strength somewhere, and it will come back up. It may not perform as well as maybe it should have, but it will do at least what the top 10 are doing, or at least close to.
Right.
We'll have to wait and see. Juan, you've been quiet. Any information from you? Any thoughts? Any ideas?
Well, like I said, I think I shared most of what I thought when it comes to the foreseeable couple of months and even into the year. I just think that I've been preaching about that we need some type of regulation, some type of standards, not just to kind of do away with these silly lawsuits, and I hope these things stop, but start defining what crypto is. Is it going to be a security? Under what standards? And start moving forward. It's not going backward. I think the country itself needs unity under this crypto situation, and people need to stop being afraid of it. And I think that's why we haven't had this big push. And I think I will agree that I think the left does a piss poor job at assuaging those fears. I think they even stoke those fires to kind of make sure that we don't accept or adopt crypto yet. I think it's time. It's time. And once this happens, we're going to start seeing those transitions into what crypto can really do for us on a day-to-day basis. Because it's just not about money. There's actual functionality behind these things. It's a great security because again, you can put it in a hardware wallet. It's not changeable, not hackable when it comes to the actual code of the crypto itself, right? Exchanges are another thing. But with that being said, with the future coming and the advent of new computing, excuse me, we're going to need a lot of these things in place today. And as long as we continue to create this false fear, we're never going to move forward in the crypto space. So I'm hoping that, again, that we kind of unify under this crypto banner and move forward. I mean, that's what I want the most out of 2025.
Agreed. And I think we are going to get that. Okay, so I'm going to... Okay, well, first of all, for anyone who's new to either the channel or new to crypto, you kind of stumbled upon this video. And if you've made it this far, really, really appreciate it. If you can give it a like and a subscribe to the channel, that'd be great. But if you're looking, wondering where to buy crypto, I know a lot of people, they don't want to use the Binance or Coinbase or any of those exchanges simply because they're centralized. And a lot of times, we've been talking about Coinbase recently about them freezing accounts and stuff. The one that we use that supports the channel is Bitunix. And they are a decentralized exchange. They do not require KYC. They don't even require a VPN, honestly. You can exchange or trade on this exchange from anywhere. So this is Bitunix. The link is in the description for the code for our channel, our affiliate. You can do leverage trading through futures. You can do spot trading. You can do copy trading. It is a really, really good exchange. They have a bunch of contests, or I should say volume competitions right now. You have the chance to win a MacBook, or you can win a Rolex watch. They also have, I believe, let's see, this is the main page. I believe it's 5,500. What was it again? Juan? I always get the two confused. It's either $5,000 deposit bonus or $5,500 deposit bonus.
It's the I think it's the 5,000 deposit bonus. The 5,500 is the contest. As you complete the objectives.
That's right. Thank you. Okay, here it is. Yes, 5,500 USDT worth of newcomer rewards, and then a $5,000 deposit bonus. So you can also, you can open up mystery boxes for each complete thing for registration. Just your regular registration. All you need is your phone number or an email, your password. You read the terms and conditions, and you're all set, ready to go. Deposit your USDT, and then feel free to check out the site. It's really, really easy to use, very intuitive. The UI is very, very clean. They have hundreds of different crypto you can buy on the spot market. And if there's anything that you don't see on here and you would like to see, they're very, very good at adding crypto. So all you need to do is you can either DM myself or email the channel, or you can get a hold of them directly. And they are more than happy to add a crypto if you feel that they should have it. So very easy to use. And like I said, it supports the channel. You use the link in the description. And the last thing I wanted to mention as well is the DGen's Crypto Weekly newsletter. This is week 11. They just came out with it yesterday. Very, very good news article. Everything to do with crypto. It gives you sentiment on the market. Tells you about the dominance, others' dominance, and then it usually gives you a token of the week, spotlight token of the week, and then it gives you information on how they predict it's going to do. DGens also has a Discord, which they have a lot of pro traders. They are constantly giving information, trade secrets, signals, you name it. And it's a very good Discord to get involved in. It's free. The link for that is also down in the description. And the link for this weekly newsletter, if you want to be subscribed to it, it is free. And they send out this newsletter once a week. As you can see, here's the previous ones. You can check them out, and a lot of information here. These guys over at DGens, they're killing it. They've got a lot of smart crypto minds in the game, all in one Discord. So I appreciate if you give them a follow. I think that's about it, gentlemen. Is there anything you would like to add before we close out this week's stream?
For me, hey guys, if you today we covered Doge. If you think that, hey, maybe we got it wrong, leave a comment. We'd love to know more about what you guys feeling on Doja is for the next couple of weeks. And see if we should continue to cover it. If you guys think it's a waste of time, we'll move on to something else. But at the same time, just curious to hear what your thoughts are. Other than that, have a great crypto week.
Cruiser.
Well, I am, my final thought is basically I'm hoping we can come back here next week and say, wow, did you see the rebound we had last weekend?
Yeah, that would be nice. That would be awesome.
see what happens. But I'm sure if this does continue, well, whether it continues or not, regardless of which direction it goes in, if it declines further or if it rebounds, we'll have lots to talk about next week. Looking forward to it.
Yep. And not financial advice, but we don't believe the bull market is over. This is not the beginning of the bear. So anyone that is trying to spook you into thinking the markets are now going to go into the depths of a bear market, we're not even close. All the indicators say that we are not close. And to close it out, don't forget, we are going to be having the giveaway for the 2 Ballet hardware wallets. Details on the giveaway will be mentioned soon, maybe on next week's video. And we'll go over the ballot website as well. So stay tuned for that. All right. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Cruiser. Thanks, Juan, for joining me. Don't forget, on your way out, we'd appreciate a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Really appreciate you all for joining us. And we will see you again next week on the Weekly Roundtable. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.